So it's been an entire day since the leaks came out yesterday, and I've kind of had an entire day to cool down from this entire situation and really take everything in. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining what I think is going to happen next with Nagi's character and what do I think this means to the overall Blue Lock story. So if you guys like this type of content, please remember that like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get right into this. First things first, I want to give some more context on my initial reaction to the chapter, because I know in my review / discussion video, I kind of just seen everything live. Like whenever I drop those videos, guys, I'm simultaneously recording the video while looking at the leaks. So it's basically a live reaction. Like you see my reaction as I see these pages and read through the chapter. So obviously you can imagine my shock when I see Nagi shooting the ball in one panel and then getting eliminated in the next panel. It was just absolutely devastating. But from this, I seen a lot of comments yesterday that gave me a little bit of hope. At first, I was like, you know what? It might be over for Nagi. Now, listen, I might be coping. I'm not gonna lie, none of this is confirmed. This could all be complete cope. But I actually feel like this is better for Nagi. Hear me out. A lot of people might say, hey, Nagi's completely locked off. He might be done. He's not gonna get no offer. But I think that, listen, the reason why Seishiros really decided to drop an entirely new manga just for Nagi is probably for this moment exactly. You're probably wondering, Extendo, what are you talking about? The reason why I say this is because you look at the Nagi episode and it shows you all the stuff Nagi did when Isagi's not on the screen. When our main character isn't there, this shows us the journey that Nagi goes through. So isn't it just perfectly fitting for the Nagi episode if Nagi goes through an entire arc by himself while everyone's at the U20 World Cup? We get to see exactly what's going on with Nagi throughout that time. And when he comes back in the original manga, we get to see this entirely new version of him and how he's evolved. Now, of course, this is all just cope. I don't know if this is going to happen. I have no idea if Nagi's still even in Blue Lock. We're going to have to wait for the next chapter to actually know this, which is in 2 weeks because there's a break. But honestly, I feel like this is a very smart decision from Seishiros, because what is the one thing that Nagi lacks? Nagi completely lacks that ego, that drive, that selfishness. Even in the end, you've seen there, he still chose to rely on Rio. He still passed it to him in the end, which ended up being his downfall. Now, who does that remind you of? That reminds me of Isagi. Remember the first chapter of Blue Lock, where Isagi was dribbling past everyone, kind of like Nagi, going through everybody, and then Isagi, faced with another defender, ended up passing it to his teammate, or faced with the goalkeeper, ended up passing it to his teammate, who ended up missing, and Isagi ended up losing because of that. The same thing basically happens here. I think this is a complete parallel to that exact moment for Isagi, and we see the type of person Isagi became after that moment. It was only after that moment that the true Isagi was really born. The Isagi with a drive to become the world's best. The Isagi with that burning ego we see him as today. So I feel like Nagi, I feel like he really needed this loss. As much as it hurts me to say that we're not going to see him in the U20 World Cup, he's going to be left behind. I did say this in a very old video. I don't know, maybe you guys remember, maybe you don't. I did say that maybe Nagi losing would be the thing that gives him the drive to end up actually, like, it would motivate him, because you don't really know how good something is until it's gone. And now he's in a situation where he's going to lose Rio. He's going to lose most of his friends from Blue Lock, and he's going to be completely alone, isolated. And he's going to really realize that all these people surpass me. They all just move forward in their lives without me. And I feel like that realization is really going to hit Nagi, as he's going to stop taking like football as a joke. He's going to actually start taking the sport seriously to get back on that level, and maybe even go on a revenge tour, like a revenge arc, to take everybody down who ended up surpassing him and become the best. Again, I'm going to say this for the third time in the video. This is all just cope. I have no idea if any of this stuff is going to happen, but I'm just speculating. Another person in my comments also brought up this amazing comment that when you look at what Baro said to Nagi, he said, you're going to have to die and start from zero. That's exactly what Nagi's doing here. He's locked off. He's done. He's going to need to start from zero here, or I think he's completely done with Blue Lock. One of the two things are going to happen. But I really do think that Kaneshiro would not make a character this important completely get eliminated from the story. I feel like him, Igaguri, and anyone else who didn't make it from the top 23, they're just not going to be in the next arc. That's all it is. I feel like those characters are not going to be in the next arc. But when we see them again, they will be completely upgraded and completely different characters. Another reason why I think Kaneshiro had locked off Nagi is because when we really think about it, what place does Nagi really have in this U20 World Cup team? Let's be honest. Now that Shido's been added to the team, he kind of just takes Nagi's spot. Like, yeah, you could play Nagi at like a cam position, but at the same time, there's so many good players now and so many people that you'd probably take over him at this point that I just don't think Nagi even fits in the team correctly. So honestly, I feel like Japan are going to go to the U20 World Cup, and I feel like Kaneshiro was like, you know what? I feel like Nagi would do better off getting his character development in the NEL and completely missing the U20 World Cup arc, only to come back in the next arc after that, maybe like a parallel to Kunigami. But it's not going to be a wild card. It'll just be him completely shocking everybody. As for me, some of you guys may be asking, now that Nagi's not in the series, quote unquote, we don't know what's going to happen to him. Is he completely out of Blue Lock? Is he not? Is he still in it? We have no idea, but all we do know for sure is that Nagi is not on the U20 World Cup roster, and therefore he would not be featured in the next arc, which really begs the question, Extendo, who are you going to be rooting for in the U20 World Cup? Who are you going to be repping? You know, you used to be a hardcore Nagi rep, and he's not in the next arc, so you're going to have to rep somebody. And guys, listen. A lot of people might get angry saying I'm a bandwagon, but I've been saying for the past couple chapters that I've been starting to love Michael Kaiser's character, especially with the revenge arc that's been prepared for him in the NEL to get back at Isagi. For this next arc in the U20 World Cup, only for that arc, I will be a Michael Kaiser rep. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm prepared because since I'm choosing to rep Kaiser, I'm also choosing to go against all of these other guys. Isagi fans, Baro fans, Rin fans, Batra fans, everybody bring it on. Kaiser is going to absolutely dominate Japan U20, and he's going to knock Japan out of the tournament. I said it here. I may have said otherwise in other videos, but no, now that I'm repping Kaiser, I'm going to rep Kaiser for this one arc, and I'm going to show you guys that Kaiser is the best striker in the entire series. But yeah, man, in all seriousness, when Nagi comes back, if he comes back, I really hope he comes back. I will eventually, yes, move back to Nagi. It's only for this one arc because I feel like Kaneshiro just took him out of this arc. One, to give him his development, and two, because he just doesn't fit. It's hard to write that many characters in a very significant role. Like, let's look already. He has Isagi, Baro, Rin, Shido, Batra, Chigiri. That's already 6 characters he needs to really, really lock in on. And if Hitoshi Sai plays with them, that's another. That's 7. And then we get Hiyori. That's another one. That's 8. So there's so many characters he really needs to do something with in this next arc. So I feel like just adding Nagi in there for no point would really kind of diminish Nagi's impact on the overall story. Whereas doing it this way, Kaneshiro thought, okay, I can cover what he did during this time in my other manga, but at the same time, I could give him his development in this manga. So guys, I really do feel that Nagi's story is not over. This might be cope, call it whatever you want. Another thing that I like to mention is just based on the overall chapter in terms of narratively, writing-wise, and the themes of Blue Lock. This chapter is brilliant. Don't let my reaction from the chapter tell you otherwise. This chapter, regardless of how I feel about my favorite character getting booted out of Blue Lock, I feel like this chapter is a very well-written chapter. Not only does it subvert expectations of what we thought going forward, it also raises the tension for the next arc, and it also shows the realism that was established in the first chapter of Blue Lock with Kira. If you guys don't remember, Kira was the jewel of Japanese football, and he was kicked out of Blue Lock completely for his complacent attitude. So I feel like the same thing happening here with Nagi is nice to see that the series still kept its core themes And, all that writing that we've seen before is still in the series and still being talked about today. And it really shows that every character needs to tear themselves down and completely rebuild themselves to become better and exceed in this system. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the chapter. What do you guys think is Nagi's future? What's going to happen to him in the future? Is he going to stay in Blue Lock? Is he done with football? Is he going to make the greatest comeback of all time? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Yeah, man, I hope you guys all have a great day. Please remember that like and subscribe button. Bye-bye.